internet of them beheading journalists.
Yeah.
That's crazy shit. That gets the
They'll
wrong
distance
kind of
themselves unless ISIS starts winning.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is the fact that they're distancing themselves from ISIS more due to the fact that of all the negative heat this shit is drawn?
I don't think so.
This is a nice, comfy fence.
The terrorist training camps up until now were apparently acceptable to them then.
To who?
The same people who are now trying to distance themselves from ISIS.
Not necessarily.
They never issued a statement as saying as such. I mean, you'd think suicide bombings would be
how do you know they haven't?
Well, I'm guessing they haven't, since it seems to be a big fucking deal that they're doing it now.
And it never hit media for over a decade.
Yeah, but the people, it tends to not pick up media when there's Muslims and Muslim leaders saying, we don't support, all of these terror attacks. It tends to not get picked up. It's unfortunate
you're
that
saying
they're not.
It has been getting said just as much?
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Okay.
There are Muslim leaders but they're also at the same time saying that the American policies are horrible and they're making it worse. So that's being said at the same time. If they're saying both those things, then they're rather torn on saying, I had a Muslim guy living at my house for better part of a winter. Mm-hmm. We had oodles and oodles of discussions. And the moderate Muslims hate those guys because it makes them look like shit. They would like to
picking different things out of the Bible.
They're
all cherry picking the different things.
There's no such thing as a moderate when it comes to religion.
the Quran, their Bible.
Well, there is, because there's a difference between Westboro Baptist Church and your local. The
Westboro Baptist Church is more literal.
Yeah,
they take
interpretation
but they put
of the
the
Bible.
emphasis on a different syllable. And the United Church
but the other person
puts the emphasis on very different portions. They're all cherry picking.
Yeah.
Right.
You cannot not cherry pick that book.
But your people in the regular church
I can't disagree with that.
They're still pushing all of the ideals of that religion. They're still popularizing it by being a part of it. So they're still having and producing these doorways for other people to join and become extremists or extremists.
I think ultimately we can all agree that religion is a problem. And that area particularly would be better off without it. What I think the discussion needs to be about is what to do about it.
Well,
that's a good question.
What you do about it is get a whole bunch of female soldiers and send them out. Because if you get killed by a female in battle, you don't go to heaven. You don't go to Muslim heaven.
So they'll just run the fuck away?
They do. They run the fuck away. Because the Kurdish army has women soldiers. And as soon as somebody gets killed by a woman, they turn tail.
Yeah, until some mullah says, "Oh wait, we meant non-American women. If it's American women, you can kill them."
No, but it's not.
Satan.
It's not American women that right now that mostly that are out there. There was actually a Saudi. It was a Saudi. I'm pretty sure it was a Saudi fighter pilot. I posted this on my Facebook.
That's weird.
A while ago. Yeah. That she was the boobs on the ground comment that had showed up on Facebook.
Oh,
this is how the American media is responding to
I thought that was a new Halle Berry movie.
A Saudi fighter pilot that's going out and attacking, an Islamic Saudi fighter pilot female who's going out and attacking ISIS, and what they have to say about it is boobs on the ground.
That must be on purpose.
There should be.
Because the Saudis they don't let their women out into public.
Well, and that's what's going to happen.
They just recently opened this up to, it's been a very recent thing. And why, I have no idea.
Yeah.
See, what's going to end up happening then is if you have all these women fighting, then they're just going to say, well, they're not Muslim women, so they don't count as real women.
Oh, I think you're underestimating their disregard for women and how much the religion would poo-poo them being killed by a woman. It doesn't matter what religion they are. If they get killed by a woman, they're shit. And you don't get your virgins in heaven.
Yeah, but they're already breaking how many different things in the Quran by killing people of the book and killing innocents.
But it's all macho
shit.
It's all this macho shit.
It's not just all sexism, though. It's...
Oh, well...
lot of it is. I will agree.
Stuff, like
but
the
I think
stuff that ISIS is doing,
I
or
think
Saudi Arabia.
I think they're so whipped up that it wouldn't stop them. I don't think it would. And it'd be awesome if it would, but I don't think.
I think the best.
I think it's worth a try.
I think the best thing they could do, and it's something they have yet to try, is get the fuck out. Every fucking drone strike, every bullet creates arguably at least one more of them.
But maybe
it creates a dozen of them.
They have. It's not just the Americans in there now. Turkey's going in now too.
I'm not saying it's just the Americans.
Turkey, which is
because
borders
they're part of
Syria.
NATO. Because they're part of NATO.
Turkey
Yes,
actually voted.
That's why they're in.
Turkey voted in their parliament to go in
because they're part of NATO.
They don't have to make any commitment to do that. That NATO does not require them to go.
Well,
their parliament
there's what it requires
voted,
and there's what it requires.
But it doesn't. Like the British, I don't think the British Parliament has actually passed.
Well, the Prime Minister said that they're going to war.
Well, but they've been waiting until they could pass it in their Parliament.
It doesn't matter whether or not so and so is going. The point is, the Americans have been going over there for years. It hasn't worked, and it's just caused the whole thing to fucking mushroom.
Here's an idea.
It hasn't helped.
Make sure that these countries that are harboring ISIS,
getting the fuck out, leave it alone, and let it sort itself out. Humanitarian aid is always welcome. There is ways to help without fucking killing people.
Yeah, you could use drone bombers to drop care packages.
Yeah.
You can. Why couldn't you?
I'd rather see just the local countries there beaten down on ISIS and Canada and US staying the fuck out.
Well, exactly. And
I would rather that.
I mean.
And they have quite a lot of capabilities. They've been buying fighter jets and shit from the Americans for years.
What you have to do is you have to stabilize. You have to stabilize their governments first. Help them become stable governments.
No,
and then
no, you don't.
Get the fuck out.
But just getting the fuck out with unstable governments.
Get the fuck out. It's that simple.
It's not. Not in places like Syria, where there is no stable government.
Right. What
ISIS is going to fucking take over the entire country.
For how long?
Huh?
For how long?
As long as they have more guns than everybody else.
Countries are already dealing with that shit.
Right.
Yeah,
they can't spread themselves too fucking thin, and as long as us white folks, frankly, North America and Europe, stay the fuck out of it, they'll just sort it out amongst themselves. What we're going to be left with,
there's two
who knows what that's going
to
be. But one thing is for fucking sure, if we stay there, it's just going to keep getting worse.
Well, it's going to go one way or the other. It's going to go away or it's going to get infinitely worse.
Well,
that's the only
way to solve it, quite frankly, is to kill every man, woman, and child over there. If that's what you want to do.
You help make sure that their governments are stable. I don't mean by overthrowing, just making sure that...
I think we've had a 10-year experiment in that already in Iraq, and this was the response.
That wasn't trying to stabilize governments.
It was. That was the whole point. They were trying to build democracy there.
This is what's going to happen unless you bomb that place into a sea of fucking glass.
I didn't say build democracy.
That's the same difference.
No, guaranteeing democracy isn't just what I mean by stabilizing. Just making sure that they have a functioning
a government.
Just make sure they have a functioning one, and then you hold those countries responsible for the actions of their people.
There are two lines of thought here, and we're not going to solve it here in one discussion.
Says you.
And one line of thought is sort of pacifist, and one line of thought is totally not pacifist. There are people on both sides. I mean, John Searle would disagree with you. He thinks we should go in there and kill people. That's what he said.
See, we haven't done anything over there.
That's what he said about the last war, though. Well, yeah, that's just it. I'm not going to support his position. I'm just going to say this is a little bit controversial. I think everyone disagrees.
It's like throwing water on a fucking grease fire.
I would like to the fact that Harper has no plan that he has communicated to us.
Well, there's a shocker.
About going in. He has no plan that he's communicated. He has no indication of when or if we'll be able to get out. And we're going in anyway.
And it's not being discussed in Parliament whatsoever.
Plans. Well, no, he discussed it amongst his drinking buddies in the U.S. Before he even brought it up here in Canada. Because that's what he does. He goes down to the States and
takes his orders from the money bags down there.
He's a yes man. I mean, we're the little brother to the United States. And you've got, Obama doesn't even like him. He thinks he's a douche, and he said so. And
actually,
yet
that was a hoax.
douche. I'm just being extreme.
Paraphrasing.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, no, Obama would never be so.
They've never been buddy. That's for sure.
Anybody who's met Harper almost has to come away with that conclusion.
Yeah. That's right.
His fucking cold, clammy hands.
You'd almost have to call him a douche to his face. Well, I would have to, but anybody else would almost have to as well.
You're just smiling. Yes,
we have to get it in our obligatory fuck Harper.
Oh, well, I think that's where Mike was headed. Was fuck Harper, right?
Well, I was just putting it out there so other people would say that.
Well, yeah,
yes.
Obviously, fuck Harper.
Yeah, obviously.
We all agree on fuck Harper.
Yeah. I'm not sure if his replacement will be like great, but as long as he has a replacement,
it's not him.
Yes.
So
replacement with a hard date.
Mm-hmm.
And not Lego hair.
You're like one of the fucking Lego people.
He looks like a Lego people.
All of the emotional range.
It really is too bad that the UN is useless and powerless, though. It would be awesome if they could actually do what they were built to do.
Yeah.
The UN became a joke as soon as the US was just kind of like, you know what?
No,
we're just going to do what the fuck we want.
We're going to go
How
attack
about that?
Yeah, that's right.
It's
And they were
become
like,
a political
well, okay.
liability to cooperate with the UN in the United States.
Sure. It's a lot of red tape. And you don't get to do what you fucking want to do.
And you don't look like a cowboy going off and doing your thing.
Yeah. When has that ever scared them, though? America, fuck yeah. Coming again to save the motherfucking world.
Yeah, well,
they won World War I and World War II single-handedly.
I guess. Yeah.
they're no longer the economic superpower in the world. So that's just going to continue in the direction that it does. So
I
maybe
for one,
someday
welcome our
they'll get
Chinese
some
overlords.
humility. It's like the whole Palestinian, Israeli
Gaza Strip, all that.
Yeah, that whole
going
thing
on with that
can't be
lately now?
solved.
That's
These
another thing to just
these
Did they
people
just
have been
quit?
killing
see,
each other
we
forever.
decided to leave that one alone, so that's why it's been fought for the last 100 years.
Oh yeah.
So did they quit?
If only we'd
fighting
go over
or
there
what?
and do
yeah.
something. You know, then it would all end. No, I don't fucking
Tune in
think
next
so.
week for a 1 hour special where we solve the Palestinian crisis.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Bulldozers, done.
You know, one thing that would
Airdrops of
really
bacon.
help if everybody would stop uncritically believing in garbage because they think
Well,
there's a sky wizard.
That's really the problem.
This
right
is why we
there,
need
isn't it?
airdrops of
I
bacon.
think so.
But that seems to be far too reasonable a solution for people to agree to. So let's fucking kill each other over this dirt, huh?
Yeah.
My
Sky Wizard is
hunk of
cooler
dirt.
than yours.
one of my favorite quotes for the whole
You worship the wrong
ISIS
prophet,
Islam
the same Sky Wizard.
thing is from
Yep.
the Scathing Atheist podcast, where he said, if you create a god, anyone can use them for any nefarious purpose they want. And that's just all there is to it.
Yeah,
You
you can make
created a
that God
fucking
say
God,
anything
and-
you want.
Anybody can say whatever they want about what God wants.
Yeah, well, he spoke to me through a burning bush, and this is what he said. Oh, really,
He told
it's
me to
okay
build
for
a
me
boat.
Told me to sacrifice my son to him. That's it. But my son said he'll behave, so we don't have to sacrifice him anymore.
But that just sounds insane. How could anyone believe in that?
Oh,
Well,
it's only insane if
that's
God
a good
speaks to you
question.
through your hairdryer.
That's right.
And if
It's a
you're
burning bush. It's okay.
if you're taught it as a rather young child, then all
Right.
kinds of fantastical things are reasonable and believable. They're not reasonable; they are believable.
Tell a kid not to jump in a fucking mud puddle. Guess what? They'll do it. But you tell them there's a fucking guy living in the sky that sees everything they do. They'll believe that.
Most of them will.
reminds me of the George Carlin bit. I think it's George Carlin. Tell people the paint is wet on a bench. They got to check to see. Tell them an invisible guy in the sky is talk to you. They'll believe you. Pretty fucked up.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Oh, did you see the video from
Do
the
you
Young
even know
Turks
who-
about porn searching habits?
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty funny.
So you're going to tell me that Ron Jeremy doesn't have the most views?
Well, I don't know about Ron Jeremy, but one of
Jeremy
the top
famous,
3 searches in porn for men was teen, MILF, and mature.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Pretty much running the gamut there.
The Young Turks kind of figured